What's going on, you guys, and welcome back to A Different Perspective. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button for your boy. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and I'm hoping that we can get there by my birthday at the end of October. If we can do that, I would be so freaking appreciative. You already know. So, as of yesterday, y'all saw I was posting a couple of videos about shit testing. I had posted 2 videos in general that was about the same topic, same conversation, but I was giving multiple perspectives around it in the second video. The first one I will have linked right up here at the top. And yesterday I was thinking about this story that I had heard of this multi-millionaire who had shit tested his girlfriend, now wife. I couldn't remember the name of the millionaire. I couldn't remember the name of the podcast where I had heard that story. And so I didn't really talk about it in yesterday's videos, and I wanted to. I really did. But last night it was kind of wrecking my brain, so I went searching. And I found the podcast. It was on the Roommates podcast, and the millionaire was Patrick Bet-David. So we're about to check this out. He says some stuff in the beginning that I feel like are some real gems. I really suggest you guys go to this channel and check it out. I will have it linked down in the description box below, but I'm gonna let a little bit play out before he get to that part, and I'm gonna give you guys a little indication of when it's coming, that shit test part. So, and y'all gonna hear it. It's gonna be very clear. But yeah, I think this is going to be very beneficial for us to watch and to learn, and maybe it's something that we can implement in dating and in relationships. So let's go ahead and get into this video. Y'all ready? I'm ready. Let's go.
So one of the questions that people always ask is, what is the incentive of a very successful, especially financially successful man to settle down and get married? So I'm very curious about, from your personal perspective, as a man who was being successful, who had an onward trajectory, who was doing so well, what made you decide to get married?
The risk is very high, by the way, to get married. You know, for me, when I was 28, I had made a decision I'm never going to get married. I'm staying single. And my assistant, very good friend of mine at that time, Sandra, Patty, said, why don't you go read this book, 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged, by Norman Wright. So I read the book.
That's fascinating. A woman told him to read a book about questions to ask, which is essentially is almost like shit testing someone. There's a whole book essentially about shit testing someone, but maybe not. Maybe it's not kind of structured that way, but that's kind of what it sounded like to me. But he still read the book even after deciding at 28 years old that marriage wasn't for him. Let's keep hearing this.
And very good friend of mine at that time, Sandra, Patty, said, why don't you go read this book, 101 Questions to Ask Before You Get Engaged, by Norman Wright. So I read the book. When I read the book, I'm like, interesting. I was talking to 4 girls at the time. I said, why don't you guys read this book as well and see how you feel about it? So they did. I'm like, I could never be with you. You and I would never work out.
Just like I was saying yesterday with that text message thread, if I was in a relationship, I would show that text message thread to a female to find out what was her thoughts and opinions based upon it. And hopefully they would align somewhat with mine. If not, then that might not be a relationship that could end up working out in the long run. So that's kind of what he did with these 2 ladies, or these 4 ladies in his book.
But I asked the one question, why get married? There's way too much risk to it.
There's a lot of risk.
So then I sat there and said, well, you have somebody to come home to every night. You can still have somebody to come home to if you're single. Matter of fact, you can have options. If you know what I mean? When you have the money, you can do whatever you want to do with that.
Correct.
Yeah. But tax benefits, I don't care about that. I can move to another state and get better tax benefits.
Exactly.
It's somebody that you're, it's somebody that can help you. It's somebody that can do this. Not there yet.
Nah.
And then it goes to, okay, look, you can make all the money in the world. Then what? Like, what leaves you? A book? Yeah, they say the Jewish proverb says there's 3 things every man should do. Write a book, plant a tree, have a son. Why? Because they all outlive you. We as men want to live thousands of years. The only way you're going to live thousands of years is by the value you bring to the world that's documented, is by giving back to, and I know the tree is what they're saying with tree, not even tree today, because a tree is being cut down and turned into paper. It's a business model now, right? But
yeah, I best believe. I told you guys about a year ago, I'm going to write a book. Just bear with me. I'm going to write a book. And I definitely want to have kids. I want something to outlive me. I'm building a legacy.
It's family. It's blood. And when you see your kid and you find somebody to build a family with that's a good partner, meshes with you, good personality, you sit there and say, okay, great, this looks good. We can actually pull this off. Then there's value for it. But I'm gonna tell you something here right now. Basic rules about getting married today. If I'm a man, I'm not getting married before 30 at all. I would not even think about getting married pre-30. A lot of people argue with me.
Listen to his reasons why. Very good reasons. And I agree 100%.
You don't know what you're talking about. I got married at 22 years old and I'm happily married. I'm 62. 22, 62, that was 40 years ago. That means the 80s.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't have social media. You didn't have Snapchat. You didn't have Tinder. You don't have accessibility to what's out there today. Accessibility to sex today is so easy. The ability to be tempted today and screw up is so easy. The ability to screw up and make a royally, publicly humiliating mistake today is very high. And ain't no man walk on water. Okay? And no man walks on water. Everybody sees and says, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, but I'm married. There's nobody that's perfect to say, oh, I don't have to worry about the mistakes I'm going to make. The risk is high today.
Yeah.
The reward is not as high as it used to be. Because at least back in the days, say you and your wife got into a fight 20 years ago. You got a 30-minute drive, okay? And at the office, you talk to her. Why don't I come home and talk to you tonight? You got 30 minutes to calm down by the time you come home. Today, if you get into a fight, instantly, that second, what you want to say, you say. So you fan, scar.
You hear that? Kind of like that text thread that we saw yesterday, which I'm still not so sure if it was real or fake. If it was real, shame on them. Horrible way to have an important conversation. Horrible way. They deserve to be broken up.
It's just like, dude, I'm so done with this marriage. So today we have too much of the opportunity to react instantly. There's too much instant reaction. Yeah. And hey, you don't know what you're talking about. That fight is too instant. So those are all scars that you're leaving on each other, right? Yeah. And eventually, after all the scars, you get, it's like, I just have no desire to do anything with you in bed anymore. I really don't. I'm good. You're facing this way. She's facing that way. So it has to be built on the right values and principles. It has to be somebody that you date for some time and you see all the dark side of them and yourself to see if you can do this or not. Preferably a referral that's coming through somebody instead of cold. I knew my wife 5.5 years before we got married. She knew my flaws, I knew her flaws. Oh yeah, she dated other guys, I dated other girls, and eventually we said, let's see what could happen here, and we build a family together. You have to create certain criterias before you, and when you get married, watch the fights, watch the arguments, watch how people argue. I remember one time my wife, we were dating, and she is about to lose.
Yeah, this right here is the shit test. Listen to him.
She is about to lose financially. She wasn't the best of place at that time. Certain, challenges took place. She was in a mortgage real estate business. And 1 month, she calls, we've been together for 3 months. She says, this month, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I'm like, ooh. Okay, let's see where this goes. Yeah. She said, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent. I'm like, really? Yeah. What are you thinking you're going to do? I don't know. What do you think I should do? I said, well, number one, I would go return your BMW that you have. That's $850 a month car payment, white convertible. I'd go return that and say, can't pay the payment anymore. What else would you do? Number two, I'd go back and I would get a Nissan Sentra, $200 a month. That saves you $600 a month. Okay, what else would you do? I'd go back, and I know you're doing insurance and real estate right now. I'd go back and get your old job where you worked to give you a good shift where they can pay you $40,000. That at least covers your, expenses. What else would you do? Boom, boom, boom. I said what I said.
Woo! He said what he said. She asked him. She was like, what should I do? I'm about to lose my job. He's like, go turn in that BMW you got. Go get you a Nissan. Go back to your old job. Yeah, you might be making less, but see if they will take you back. How would most women act in this situation? Let's see how she acts.
And she says, okay. I said, what do you mean? Let's go return the car. I said, you sure? That day, we drove to BMW. She returned her car. Then we drove up to Sentra. She got the Sentra. Then she went back to her job and she got a job. And I said, never once did she say, can you lend me $1,250? Not one time. So to me, that was like, okay, because my biggest concern was, I have money, so you're kind of trying to. Never did that. And I said, she has no clue. She just passed an incredible test for us.
Bam. You heard that? She just passed an incredible test for us. For the longevity, for the life of their relationship. She passed a test. That's it. I'm gonna let you guys listen to the rest of that video. I'm gonna have a link down in the description box below, but man, whoo, this was good. There was so many gems from this podcast. So many gems from this podcast. Very, very great episode. Shout out to the guys over there at the Roommate Podcast. Shout out to Patrick, David. Y'all, again, that video will be linked down in the description box below. Leave your thoughts, comments, and opinions down in my comment section. But yeah, y'all know what time it is. Like this video, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for more. As always, a link to the original will be down in the description box below if you haven't already. Make sure you follow your boy on the gram and Twitter at Artofkickz, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next one. See ya.